How can I help you, Jim?
Well, Denise, I need some advice. I'm really concerned about Mike Rutherford. Well, normally, he always does good work. He's always laughing and joking around with the other people he works with. But for about a month now, he's been acting differently.
How so?
Well, he's made a couple of big mistakes recently. Once he even totally forgot about a deadline, which is not like Mike at all. And he's been late a couple times this month. And he also seems quiet and moody.
That doesn't sound like Mike. Have you talked to him about it?
Well, I've tried to, but he doesn't want to talk about it. He just mumbles about not having enough sleep and just walks away.
Sounds like something is really bothering him. Have you had a chance to document any of this so we can show him how it's affecting his work? I mean, sometimes when you have something concrete to point to, it'll make it easier for someone to admit there's a problem.
Well, yeah, I have. Now, we've got some paperwork here covering some of the mistakes, but the biggest thing is probably this harsh letter we got from a customer whose deadline was missed. Now, he'll never do business with us again. The tardiness is easy to document, and as far as Mike being in a bad mood or uncooperative, well, I've seen it myself. And some other people have complained about it, too.
And he just won't respond to you at all?
No. No, I think he's headed for trouble. And I think we need to give him help.
John, I know you do a good job of staying on top of things. So if you think there's a problem, then of course I'm willing to help. I'm as concerned about Mike as you are. But we've got to be careful not to get too involved in his personal problems.
Well, we can't just ignore this.
No, of course not. But let's focus on what you as a manager can do. We don't want you trying to solve his personal problems, but you can address his work performance. Maybe then we can help him at least become a productive employee again. It just doesn't sound like he's a better worker.
John and Denise are good managers. They're concerned about the well-being of the people who work for them. Once they recognize a problem, they want to do something about it. But in a situation like this, it's important for managers to focus on how the problem affects work. One of the best things you can do is to observe your employees' performance, attendance, and behavior. When there's a change that may indicate a problem, document that change. Documentation helps you see patterns and frequency of problems. But do not get involved in trying to solve employees' personal problems. So if you shouldn't try to solve your employees' personal problems, what is the next step?
Have you ever tried calling these people? I've used them in the past, and they've been very helpful.
No, would they deal with this type of thing?
Sure. They help with all types of managers' concerns. What they won't do is reinterpret our company policy or things like government regulations. They also don't give legal advice about work problems. But other than that, everything's just about covered.
Like what?
Well, things like Mike's performance problems, for one thing. Things like organizational change here in the company, sensitive issues, alcohol and drug abuse, discrimination. Really, they can help with almost anything that's work-related.
When you're faced with a problem similar to John and Denise, a good place to start is by calling your management line. When you call, trained professionals will help you view the problem objectively, evaluate your options, and develop a plan to resolve the situation. Basically, they help you get a fresh perspective on a wide range of work-related topics, whether they are just day-to-day concerns or unexpected crises. What they do not do is interpret company policy or government regulations, or give legal advice on work problems. Dealing with other people's problems can be difficult, but there is a way to lighten your load. With one phone call, you can get help for all types of problems, from simple, everyday issues to crises.
So, do you think they'll be able to tell me what to do?
Well, they won't exactly tell you what to do. It's more like coaching you through the situation.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, they'll listen to you describe the situation, and then they'll talk with you, discuss options, that sort of thing.
Oh, so it's basically like a sounding board.
Exactly. An objective third party to help you see the situation in a new way. It's like having your own private management consultant. Then they'll work with you to resolve the problem using our policies and our procedures.
When you call, you won't be told what to do, but you will get solid, thoughtful assistance from trained professional counselors. Counselors who help with problem solving and communication techniques whether it's daily activities, difficult employees, or sensitive issues. Everyone carries some baggage with them to work every day, and it's easy to want to help them solve their problems. But it's important to stay focused on what you do best, and that's to help your people remain professional and productive. But if the problem persists and additional assistance is needed, you can refer your employee to the EAP. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, your employees can call anytime for help with any problem. By referring employees to the EAP, you give them another way to resolve their issues, and at the same time, you lighten your load.
So what happens if I call them about Mike?
All right. The first thing they're going to do is go through some options with you, and then they'll help you decide what the best approach is. They'll work with you to set up an action plan. They'll even call you for follow-up if you want.
It seems pretty in-depth. But what if Mike sees all this and thinks we're out to get him or something?
It's all strictly confidential. Even I won't know that you've called unless you tell me. The number and the information are right there on the card. Feel free to use it. I think the best thing we can do for Mike right now is help him get back on track here at work. I'm pretty sure they can help.
Thank you so much, Denise. I really appreciate this.
It's only natural to be concerned about the people who work for you. You see them every day. You go to lunch with them. You may even do things together socially outside the workplace. And all of that makes it more difficult to stick to the work issues when you notice one of your employees is having a problem. That's the time to make the phone call. You can get an objective third-party opinion and some suggestions on how best to approach the problem. And remember, when you call with a question or concern, that call remains confidential between you and the counselor. And it doesn't have to be a crisis situation. Maybe you could use help with a day-to-day work issue. Or maybe you just have a question. Whatever the reason, just call and lighten your load.